Right. So I wanted to do a wee video on, or after requests, and after that post I put up, everyone seems to want to know how to stay motivated. Um, so I thought I'd touch on that. Now, I am probably the most unmotivated person at the best of times. So, yeah, I thought it would be quite interesting to talk to you about motivation, as I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been to the point I don't want to get out of bed. I won't have a shower for days. I won't do anything to look after myself or anything to feel good about myself. But I've also been on the point where I, you know, do something every day for like a month and then completely blow out. So the way I'd kind of put myself is that I'm all or nothing. And I know a lot of you can relate to that. Even if you're not all or nothing, but still struggle to find ways to get motivated or ways to stay motivated and maintaining that motivation. So I thought I'd kind of talk about that. So excuse my hair, it's air drying. So yeah, I'll talk about this morning actually. I got out of bed and I could not be bothered doing anything. Admittedly, I did have sleeping pills last night that kind of ran through this morning, so I was quite dozy. But I was meant to go for my 7 kilometer run for my half marathon training and couldn't be bothered. Those days when you can't be fucked. I was having one of those. So, but the main thing is to realize that that's okay. If you do feel like that, don't beat yourself up over that. So yeah, I couldn't be. Oh, sorry, I'm on like a spinny thing, so I'm real sorry if we spin out of control. Yeah, so I really struggled to kind of motivate myself to do anything this morning. I dropped my partner at work and I literally sat in the car for like 5 minutes, like, what are you gonna do? Until I decided instead of doing a 7k run, what I'd do is, do something similar but mix it up a wee bit. So I'm getting real uncomfortable. I'm on the floor. How weird is that? On the floor. Yeah, so I thought I would do a stair run instead. So I went up the steps, did a few sprints, which was real cool to. I'm getting this big because the lighting's weird. I thought it would be cool to mix it up a little bit. So I've written some tips because I know I'd start rambling if I was going to run through stuff to keep you motivated. So my first point is to try new things. I think it takes a point you've got to really sit down and think, when was the last time I did something different or tried something new? For me, I go months and months and months and months on the same routine, eating the same stuff, training the same way. I don't keep variety in. I get comfortable with what I'm doing without pushing my comfort zones, and I think that's where motivation comes from, is taking those steps and realizing you could do something that you couldn't do not long ago. In order to do that, you've got to try new things. So it can be scary, but when I say try new things, I don't mean, oh, I'm going to go skydiving. Like, you don't have to do it that huge. Keep it on a smaller scale, keep it manageable, keep it still exciting and still, I like to call it comfortable uncomfortableness. So it's not comfortable, but it's not like, deer in headlights kind of stuff. So like for me, that was doing yoga. I tried that a few months ago. I love it. I haven't been in a while, just because I've been flying around New Zealand and stuff, so I haven't really had time to do that. But yeah, trying new things. So maybe make a list of things that you'd like to do. It could be as simple as running in a new running track or training at a different gym. Something like that to kind of just remind you why you're doing this. My second point is that you've really got to realise that not every day is going to be, like, you're not going to wake up all of a sudden and be this super motivated person. Like, the problem with social media and stuff is that we get everyone's highlight reels and we see all these people like, train hard, eat clean, oh, if this weight kills me, then so be it. All this kind of stuff that sets a really unrealistic expectation of what life is like when you're trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So yeah, I think once you realise that you're going to have some really shit days, but you're also going to have really awesome days. So the two and two kind of go hand in hand. What matters the most is how you deal with those days when you're really not motivated. Ways I do that is just thinking to myself, okay, yep, Sam, you're really having a shit day. But remember, it's just a shit day, it's not a shit life. My partner said that to me the other day when I had a wee hissy fit about something. He's like, it's just a bad hour, it's not a bad life. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. As much as I'd love to like sit there and have a wee self-pity party about myself like I do sometimes, you got to realise that that's not going to get you anywhere. Yeah, it's okay if you do that, but don't, go out of your way to really dig deep and make something a real big deal for yourself. Yeah, I think like that's why I started this page, is to show you guys that I have really, really bad days, but I also have really cool days when I'm like, fuck yeah, feeling awesome, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that kind of brings me to my next point, which is being honest with yourself. That's hard to do. I'm always quite self-reluctant to be honest with myself. Like, my partner can read me quite well, and he'll say something about me, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. In my head, I'm like, yeah, you're right. But then I'm like, no, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But the day you kind of start being like, you know what? Yeah, I've been pretty lazy lately. I have that. I go through, like, this morning, it's taken me till 1:35 p.m. to actually have a shower. I was just like, I hate life, can't be bothered. Well, not I hate life, but, that kind of FML mentality when it's just easier to not do anything. It's an easy cop-out. I'm quite lazy. I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm a lazy, procrastinating, adventurous person. Oh, what a great mixture. Yeah, so by being honest with yourself and say, yep, I'm having a pretty lazy day today, but that's okay. It is what it is. I think we set too many expectations for ourselves to lose weight, to look a certain way, to feel a certain way, to run this far. All of these expectations, which are great. It's great to have goals. Don't get me wrong, like, set great goals, but you've got to be realistic. You remember at school when they made you set SMART goals? I've hated goal setting. I hate goal setting. It freaking scares the shit out of me because I hate commitment. I'm one of those people who likes to flutter between 100 different things and keep my mind really busy and active. I don't like sitting down with something and finishing it. It's really hard, just even for me to sit down now and do a video. I'm like, fuck, I need to do this, this, and this, and this. I want to do that. I want to lie down and have a nap. You start piling up and accumulating all these things, and then it's just like, way too much. So that's where that whole honesty with yourself comes in. It makes things scale down a wee bit, and you can set realistic expectations. Be like, yeah, I would love to be able to run 10k now, but I can't. I can run 7, it's only 3 more, but I stop and walk a lot of times. And it's frustrating coming from someone who used to run twice a day, every day, 20k's a day, and run it non-stop and get really good times. And going to now, and it's like, it's really hard. It's frustrating, but you've got to accept that, these things happen. Instead of always thinking about what you used to be, why don't you just think, okay, time for a fresh start. Maybe I can do this right this time. Maybe I want to maintain this time. I want to do it healthily. Having a fresh start is really, really helpful. And you've got to realise that each setback and every time you're unmotivated or feeling really less than average, you've got to realise that you're feeling that for a reason. Something is in your body, in your conscious, in your soul, something is trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you, hey, something's up, you need to look at this, you really need to reassess something. And maybe as simple as cleaning your room, writing a list of things to do, completing a task, telling someone you love them. It might be a really simple thing that helps solve everything. Instead of getting overwhelmed with everything, just pick up one ball at a time, look at it and think, okay, what can I do with this? And kind of bleh, wow, brings me to my next point, which is recognizing that different things work for different people. What keeps me motivated may not necessarily keep you motivated. And you've got to yeah, you've got to be okay with that as well. I mean, like there's all those like videos on YouTube, like Motivation 101 and like bodybuilding motivation, fitness motivation, all these kind of things. And then you go on Pinterest and there's motivation boards. People have vision boards at home, people have lists, people write words on their mirrors and stuff like that. Different things work for different people. For me personally, those things don't work. So because of my past, if I filled a motivation board of pictures of girls I wanted to look like, I would fixate on that far too much and set a really unrealistic expectation of myself. So I kind of have to take each day as it comes and find different things that motivate me. Each day is different for me. My motivation will usually come from myself. And the way I do that is I think about how do I want to feel about me? Like, how do I feel now and how do I want to feel? Not what I want to look like. Because once again, that's not something you can grasp. Whereas if you actually want to feel a certain way, you can generate that feeling in your body quite quickly. So yeah, how do I want to feel? I think about how I'm going to feel after I exercise, after I eat a meal. Another thing that's helped me is long-term gratification. This is something my partner taught me, is that what you eat today, how you exercise today, if you exercise today, is going to determine how you feel next week. How you feel about yourself, how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's going to determine, your long term. So, you see that quote, do something your future self will thank you for. I think we overlook that. You actually need to do something. You can't just sit there and expect it all to magically happen. I thought that for a while. When I went vegan, I was like, oh yeah, cool, I'll eat all this food and I'll start losing weight. Next minute, I start gaining weight. I didn't do my research properly. I became really lazy and unmotivated. Just a real sad sack of a person to be around. And I've got that on too. No, I do. Oh, I don't know if you can tell it, so I'm getting distracted. But yeah. So you've really got to kind of think, how do I want to feel? And be honest with that. Don't just think, I want to lose 10 kgs. I'm going to be more accepted when I lose that weight. You're not. It's hard because, like, for example, when I lost weight on my comp prep diet, everyone was like, man, you look amazing. Like, you'd walk into the gym, people would be staring at you because you're all ripped and shit. All your friends and stuff, your partner would notice, like, wow, you're losing heaps of weight, you're looking great. And I was like, oh, cool, I look great. You seek outside perspective acceptance. And you really need to learn to take that on board and think, cool, that's what they think. What I think matters more than that. And that's where my motivation comes from most of the time, is I'm not doing this to get acceptance from other people. I'm doing this to get acceptance for me. You don't just magically accept yourself. You've got to work on like all parts of you. And there's so many parts of you. There's so many factors that go on in your day. Is like, how can I improve these? How can I feel better? How can I manage these things a lot better? And then comes the chestnut. How the flying fuck do you maintain motivation? I'm still trying to find this answer for myself. You don't just... It's the same as weight loss. If you lose weight, I thought that once I did my comp prep, cool, sweet, I'm here. Woo, I did it, now I can stay like this forever. No. If only that happened, like in a perfect world, like they say, nothing worth having comes easy. You can apply this to your relationships. A good relationship is one that's had hard work from both sides of the spectrum. Same with maintaining a healthy diet. They say it takes 21 days to form a habit and 3 days to break it. I highly believe that. It's consistency. You've got to try every damn day. Every day you've got to get up and say, okay, who do I want to be today? How do I want to feel? And you've got to also realise that, yes, you may set your day with good intentions, but things crop up. People cancel on you. You have a bad meeting. You have anxiety. You may injure yourself at training. Something's going to set you off, and you start going in your negative spiral. And that point is when you've got to hone in to why you even started this journey. Your journey could be different. You could be trying to gain muscle. You could just be trying to find balance and accept who you are. You could be trying to lose weight. You might be competing. or you might be running a half marathon like myself, or you might be doing an Ironman. There's so many different things that we set out to do which all require motivation, because you can't just sit there and expect it to happen, because it doesn't. You know, you must do. And the doing part, you know, like let's say people will remember you for how you made them feel. That goes the same for you. You'll remember how you made yourself feel, so make sure you choose wisely the way you treat yourself, the way you think about yourself. Another thing for me as well is, like for example, if I feel really bad about myself internally, that'll come out externally as I don't take the time to, like today I was like, right, I'm feeling a bit crap, so maybe I'll put on a little bit of makeup, wash my hair, have a shower, freshen up, and I feel a lot better about myself. Not because I don't like the way I look and I want to cover myself up, but simply because it's enjoyable. It makes me feel fresh and cleansed. I feel presentable to myself and to the external world. I don't feel like a slob. All those kind of things. So yeah. And I hope some of that helped you, because I had all these things in my head when I was driving home, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll talk about that, and I'm pretty sure I've forgotten everything I was going to talk about, so I wrote my list and I'm like, fuck, I can't remember. But let me know if any of these points help you. It's probably stuff like you already know, but sometimes it's kind of helpful to reiterate it and just get a fresh perspective from someone else. I don't know. But maybe if you've got a thing, something that motivates you, post it down below, because you never know who might read that and actually need that. That's why I always post everything that goes through my head sometimes, because you never know who's going to need that at a certain point in a certain day. Yeah, so I think my next video will be about comparing yourself to others, because I know that's a big one for me and a lot of other girls. So yeah, I mean, like this video if you liked me yarning about stuff, but also like if you want to see more of these kind of things. I'm happy to blabber away. I have no problem being on camera, it's fine with me. I think it's kind of funny looking at yourself and doing real weird things. Yeah, okay, have a good day everyone, and stay motivated.